Hi, this is Patrick Rubin and you're watching Irish Football Fan TV.
Hello and welcome back to Irish Football Fan TV. This is our League of Ireland show. It's been a while. We have been kind of all over the place. We were a bit homeless for a while, I suppose.
Yeah, there's almost a video in all the mishaps that's happened to us. But look, we're here. We'll keep on going.
Yeah, I suppose the start of getting back to it was the video I did yesterday with Pat Higgins. So check that out on our channel if you haven't already.
Hashtag call it Pat.
Yeah. Well, we might as well talk about that game from the weekend because cool. He was on fire. He scored a hat trick. They smashed Limerick.
Yeah, it's to be expected. Like Limerick in a good bit of trouble off the pitch, and Dundalk are in such form at the moment. And
yeah, but it's those four going forward: Benson, Connolly, and Mickey Duffy, as well as Hoban. Like their link-up play, unbelievable. When they're in the final third, it's like they scared the shit out of teams. Like Duffy should have scored twice early on, and then it was Hoban who got the first. I think Duffy laid it off to him, but they were rampant.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're really, really good form, and it's a fascinating battle at the top. But Dundalk, the team that probably has impressed me the most this season. It's just that system of play. Everyone is at one of it. They totally understand each other, the system where they should play, and they're breathtaking on the break. They really are. They're a joy to watch.
Yeah, I think Cork deserve a mention as well because they're on top of the league for no reason as well. Everyone's beating everyone, and that's just kind of the way it is. Like Cork did beat Dundalk at Turner's Cross as well, so. It is that classic. I always say their rivalry is very reminiscent of Arsenal, Man United in the early 2000s, kind of late 90s. That rivalry, it's just that thing at the top and that competitive edge. They really add something to the league. It keeps people eyes on the league. Because last year at this time, Cork had pretty much wrapped up the league,
and now it can go either way. It's so tight at the top.
Well, it's coming into a break now as well. I mean, there's a couple of games left, but they'll be coming into a break. And, I think Limerick will be counting their blessings that it's coming into a break.
Yeah, they're in a bit of trouble. Like, there's all the drama.
Well, there'll be transfer windows opening up and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a chance for teams
They need to regroup. And there's a lot of teams in that boat, actually, where they need to look at their squads and whatever and assess their situation for the second half of the season.
Yeah, and another club, I think, another two clubs, actually, which we talked about, was Waterford and Pats. Mm-hmm. Obviously Waterford beat them the other day, Kevin Tolan getting sent off for being Akinadi down. It was a red card. We're watching it back on Top Republic. It was a red card.
You can't deny it. It had a huge impact on the game, but
well, he's a huge impact on St. Pat's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alone, like he's a very important player for them, and he's been big for them. But when they play away, they can't seem to do what they do at home. They just kind of grind out the results. And Waterford are very good side. Once they had their little suspension flurry where they were just every player was getting suspended, and it was just a case of they were just losing out on loads of players. I think key to their defence having Dave Webster back.
Absolutely.
Since whenever he seems to play for them, they tend to keep it tight at the back in terms of conceding.
They're very strong at home as well, aren't they? And that's combined with the Pat's kind of iffy away record.
Well, they still have Doofus and Akinadi, and they seem to be forming a really good partnership, especially of late. It'd be interesting now if they can kind of keep him on or see what happens. I think he's due to go back at some point during the summer. He's due to go back. I think it's the Oldham he's came from. So one of them clubs, Oldham, or somewhere in the lower leagues of England anyway. But Akinadi, he's doing very well for himself, and if they can keep scoring and up until the break, and it'd be interesting to see then who they bring in. And Noel Hunt's off to sign as well.
It's a big one, isn't it? Well, it's a big high profile. They seem to thrive on a kind of high profile loan deals as well, so I'm sure they'll try and get something.
Well, Vigaroo's after going as well.
He's
the
gone
goalkeeper,
back,
he's gone back. But that's a chance for someone like Niall Corbett to come back in and make a claim for his place. He's not a bad keeper at all. I think he would have felt a bit unlucky because he just got signed and then Vigaroo came in, and just because he has that bit of experience and he played in England and stuff like that, I suppose he would say it's a higher standard with some people, and would argue it's not, but it is what it is, And Pats, I mean, how many times have we been to see them this season? They've been very good. So it's strange to see how or why they are kind of going in and out of this stage of doing badly, then doing well. I mean, Rovers are after pipping them and going ahead of them in the league. Mm-hmm. I mean, a couple of weeks ago we went to Richmond Park and they Joe O'Brien gets sent off, and they played
them off the park pretty
Yeah,
much, even
but-
before they were sending off. I
not
thought
as
they were
much, but they were getting that way.
But like you look at Pats, they go out to Bray again a couple of weeks ago. You think they're going to win it, and they lose it. You know, it's those stupid little silly little results they're going to have to cut out if they're going to make that next step up, isn't it?
Yeah. Now poor old Bray. Like I was actually I was out with the Man United Legends game. Just before I was there a couple of weeks ago out Wayside, and I bumped into Graham Kelly, Bray's manager. He's not their character anymore.
I think he didn't have his license. He went past the 30 days. He could operate his caretaker role, so I think he's gone on to another
Okay,
role.
well I was talking with him. Really nice guy. Big fan of the show.
That's why he's a nice guy.
Yeah, no, he sat there. We were sitting in a cafe beforehand. And he was just talking about the game. They just got beaten by Dundalk, and they were heavily beaten again that game. One of their players broke their leg, and he just said like he's just getting no luck with injuries. Sorry, McCabe was injured then as well, which is probably their star player. Things are looking bleak for Bray. I think they're gonna have to go down, rebuild. I don't see them doing anything. He said, that they'll be looking to kind of stay above water right up until the break, and then see if they can add some faces in, because they are depleted.
Yeah, they're pretty much short of bringing the bin man out to play. It's that desperate. But look, they're probably going to be looking at, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to Limerick, but they're going to hope, that they can catch Limerick. I think 7 points at the moment there. It's a big gap, but a couple of games.
Well, even Tommy Barrett says for Soccer Pro, they need to stay above Bray and try and catch Bows and Sligo. So they're all kind of playing catch up.
Everyone's going to try and jump on each other. Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Yeah. They're all kind of trying to catch each other. Basically,
it's so tight at the bottom.
But for me, right now, as things started, I don't see them catching Bows or Sligo. I think Bows and Sligo are too strong, and I'd like to see Bows stay up for a few years at least, because they've such really good young players coming through, and Keelan's really bringing them in the right way and breeding them in the right way, which can only go well for Irish football itself if you're going to bring in these youth players, and you never know, they might go on to do.
He's given them a chance. To be fair to them, like, as another team I've seen a lot of this season.
Well, a lot of them are underage internationals.
Yeah, very true. And he's encouraged them to play football as well. It's they play. Give young players an opportunity. Encourages them to try. Now results always haven't gone their way. I was at Dalymount again on Friday night. It was another one of those frustrating nights that we've seen a lot of them this season so far. They started probably the better team for the first 20 minutes or so. I thought they were the better team, and then Derry got 2 quick fire goals, and all of a sudden the wheels went off for about a half an hour, and they rallied again at the end, Bows, and missed a sitter before they got one back, and then they went on a late rally, but they just couldn't get that equaliser. It's just
that seems to be the story of their season. They're just not.
It's that final ball. It just doesn't seem to click on them. They're just not getting those breaks.
They're not clinical enough.
No, they're not. They definitely don't.
I think Dinny Cork would be disappointed in himself. Even if you asked him. Mm-hmm. I think he'd say himself that he wanted to score a lot more goals. But I think he's been in and out of the team. He's been injured as well. He didn't have a really good pre-season. I think he came out to that as well.
They make a lot of changes there as well.
But Owen Stokes been playing up front as well a lot of the time. So it's just that as well. So sorry for scratching my nose, a bit hay fever.
It's this time of the year but it's almost it's a huge. I feel so frustrated because there's great fans. They all sing their hearts out every game. The same again on Friday night, but it's just that.
What about that fan I was giving a stick on Twitter about a pin drop for Derry?
There wasn't.
I want to give him a shout out there. I don't know, he's got an Iceland flag.
To be fair, there was it was on.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you. Wasn't a lot of Derry fans. I'm told afterwards there was a handful down at the far end. They didn't really sing until about the 85th minute. But
fair play for travelling if you did travel.
So it's a long way down, and an early game on a Friday night. It's no consideration at all to the fans. But Derry looked very, very good as they grew into the game. Really, really strong on the counter attack. Have a bit of an edge to them as well. And you can see why they've got so many points and why they're going to be so difficult to beat, especially up at home. They're up the Brandywell. They're really, really going to be difficult to beat because they're just so quick and fast.
There's a dog up there this week.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fascinating game actually.
But the game I wanted to go, because you kind of skipped through it, was Rovers beating Bray 5-0, and I was kind of alluding to that, but Graham Burke gets two. A good result for them.
No, and it's another team that have been
And if that's gone above Pats now as well.
big. That's a big thing for them. Yeah, another team that's probably been a bit up and down or mixed results. Consistency is the key. They were unfortunate the week previous with kind of almost hindered really by their own players' development. Burke missed the Dundalk game.
Yeah,
because he's playing the next day for Ireland. Badly missed him in that game, but they're a team that if Bradley gets it together with them, I think they will push on up that table as well, because there's definitely a lot more quality than the results have shown to date, I think.
Well, there's so much talk now going to Preston that if that's the case, they're going to get 300k. Apparently, that's what's been publicised. But if he puts that money to good use, you never know. Just that they again, like Bose, are trying to do a lot of grassroots stuff, and I don't think it'll show straight away, but I think long term they have a good plan, and they're going to try and, like, I think Cork and Dundalk, they're all kind of doing things the right way now, whereas in the last number of years they weren't, and finances and everything else just.
It seems to be a lot more kind of professionalism around the whole of the league.
Yeah, well, there's bigger, better owners that have done it before, all in this.
Yeah, and then you look at the 3 teams in Europe, like there's a staggering amount of money that they're going to get just for entering the European competitions alone. So there's definitely potential there just to kind of develop and push on a good bit more with those clubs.
Yeah, speaking of one of those teams, Cork,
back on
did
top.
A bit of a derby with Sligo.
Don't know if you're going to.
I think they'd call it a derby. I think they would.
In distance wise,
yeah, but I think they just call it a little bit of a derby.
Yeah.
Kieran Sadler getting on the score sheet against his outside. Right foot, left foot, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just doesn't matter. As he showed in recent weeks, doesn't matter where he is in the pitch either. He's just going to score, isn't he?
80 yards or 12 yards.
Yeah, why not? Good friend of the show as well, top lad as well. Delighted for him for all that publicity.
He's having a great season. He's up there with Burke in terms of goals. He hasn't played nowhere near as many minutes, I'd say, as Burke.
No, he wouldn't have that.
Because we've been at a lot of games, and he, for some reason, uses an impact sub. Yeah. And he came on against Bowes, that game we were at, and I think he came on against Dundalk in Turner's Cross. They went on to win it as well.
Yeah, so, he's a player that's an absolute.
It's hard to keep track of all these games because there's so many games.
The list of games come thick and faster. You just remember little scenarios out of each game. But anytime we've seen Sadler, it's an absolute joy to watch. Just to see him tearing down.
He's an entertaining player. Do you know what I mean? He can strike the ball from anywhere. He can just take one touch, bam.
And that's the thing. We spoke to him a couple of times after games and stuff, and that he's been encouraged more is to be more braver with his shot selection, have a go at it, and it's it's just. But great.
He plays he plays a lot of things down as well. So we all know his class, but he'll just be like, we got to keep focused and stuff. He's a real professionalism about him, which I like to see. But most of the players at the top is the same. A lot of them Dundalk lads would be the same, and same with Cork. So Sligo, I don't know what to make of them. I haven't seen them enough this season. I haven't been at many of their games to judge them, to see what they're like. I mean, I remember they had a nice little bit of play on the kind of left hand side. Wicks it's a nice little back heel in, and then they nearly scored from that, hits the bar. But other than that, they didn't, because it's hard to judge with Soccer Republic.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to think back. I think I've only been lucky enough to see Sligo once live this season in flesh. I think it was the 2-2 draw with Bowes at Dalymount. And then that day, Sligo were very much a compact team away from home. Catching on the break. Adam Morgan, I think, had an absolutely worldly volley. The equaliser.
He seems to have gone quiet of recent weeks as well. So
it's gone a little quiet there, but
it'd be interesting to see how things kind of go with them now. They had their off the ball sponsorship too.
It's a big. Hopefully there's a few more bob for a few players there as well. Definitely money to be invested. But a team that I probably thought would have done a little better this season. To be fair, starting off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the likes of McLean coming in and stuff like that. He had a good season with Waterford, and then they came up. And then I thought it was a bit strange that he left. But I think it's a lot closer to him for Derry and stuff like that. It's a lot closer for him to kind of get up and down. Seems to be a good move for him. And he's done well there so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wicks then came as well. Morgan and that. But I just think in terms of they could look to add a bit more quality.
I think they need more creativity in midfield.
Well, they got that Brazilian guy Pincelli in. He hasn't really lit me up, I have to say, or showed much so far. What does light you up?
what lights me up, Kieran Sadlier running the ball down the wing, that really gets me going. Or Pat Hoban, tearing on, banging in goals. There's a lot of players in the league that are really, really bang on, and it's a joy to watch this season. It really is. Burke as well as
Michael
Duffy as well, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's been some fantastic football this season.
There's that link, like you look at it, there's like Sadlier and Cummins, then you have Duffy and Hoban. They seem to have this really good partnership together. Now obviously, a friend of the show as well, Stephen Beattie set up Graham Cummins' goal. Lovely cross, because it looked like it was going out of play, and he done well to keep it. He done well to get it in the area.
And then Cummins is just a beast in the air, isn't he?
Yeah. He looked like he had a bandage or something on his head.
Yeah, looked like it wore scars.
Yeah, but him like Hoban as well. He's very key to the way that Cork play and stuff like that. So
totally agree. Yeah.
Look, Cork and Dundalk are making a really interesting title race, and long may it last. I hope both teams add a bit of quality. Obviously, Cork have with Delaney. But I'd like to see them add a little bit more quality, just because they're going into those European competitions now. And, although Dundalk have a very good squad, like a big squad.
Yeah.
For me, Cork don't have as big a squad.
Probably, yeah, but even Dundalk's squad, as big as it is, like the fixture programme is, as we've struggled to almost keep up to date with games, are coming thick and fast. You throw in European football on that, and if they go on a long run, they're really going to be, their squads are going to be tested, and they will need to invest well in the next coming weeks.
Totally. Like, and look, and I hope all clubs have a good run in Europe. Now that's why it would be key as well for Rovers to buy too.
Yeah, they're probably a team that almost the European run will be a bad distraction really for them, because they haven't.
Well, I think they'll be safe.
Oh, they're definitely going to be safe, but Rovers, and they'll want to be higher up the league. They don't want to settle for just to be safe.
Of course,
yeah. And it's really going to be a stretch on the quad, particularly like if Burke leaves in the summer as well. They're really going to need to invest well, I think, as well in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just let us know in the comments. For next week's show, we're going to have weekly shows going forward. From now on, we'll be more consistent. It's just that we've had some ongoing issues, work to contend with and stuff like that. But look, going forward, we're going to do our best to have as many videos as we can. We'd like you guys to kind of interact on social media or whatever. And if this is something that you want us to discuss in shows, let us know.